Thank you very much, Hector. Good morning, everybody. Great pleasure to be here. Hector didn't say it, he usually does, but today I'll announce that Hector is not only the chair of the board of the port, but he's the first municipally appointed member of the board to be the chair of the Port of Halifax. So we're very excited in the city, Hector, and proud of the work that you're doing with Karen and the team. I'm here today to announce that Halifax has been chosen by Amazon as the next site of their headquarters. Oh, sorry, that's October 20th speech. I'll come back. Good morning, everybody. I'm very pleased to be here. For those of you who are from this area, you will know this. For those of you that are not, you may not be so aware that this is the traditional land of our First Nations people here in Halifax, the Mi'kmaq, who have been on this land for some 13,000 years. We're coming up in a month from now, next month, October, is Treaty Month, and we'll be celebrating Treaty Day and honoring the peace and friendship treaties between ourselves as governors and the Mi'kmaq people as co-governors. I am pleased to be here to talk a little bit about the port, the ocean advantage of Halifax, and the opportunities ahead of us. I'm delighted to see my friend and colleague, Scott Bryson, Treasury Board. It's always kind of nerve-wracking when he speaks after you do. I'm not going to tempt him by making any comments. I could, but I won't. Great to see Scott, MP, Andy Fillmore. Andy, by the way, you may notice, is wearing pink. In at least one or two schools here, it is Anti-Bullying Day, also known as Lay Off the Politicians Day. So glad to see Andy wearing pink. Karen, wonderful to see you, the Robert Pace, the chair of the CN board, the first Atlantic chair in 100 years. Which we're very proud of. So to all the board members and people who work at the port, visitors who work in ports around the world, wonderful to see you here. I want to congratulate Karen and her team on another successful port days. The crowds have been unbelievable. We are Canada's East Coast. Halifax is Canada's ocean city. Our fortunes and our identity have always been tied to the sea. The harbor in the North Atlantic from which it flows has always defined this place, back to the time of the Mi'kmaq when they scooped fish from these waters and lived along the shoreline. And this year, as many of you will know, we mark 100 years since this city was put to its greatest test, when the Emo and the Mont Blanc met in the narrows of wartime Halifax Harbor in a catastrophic event on the morning of December the 6th, 1917. If you've spent any time in this city, you know the story of devastation, the loss of 2,000 lives, injuries that befell some 9,000 more. You may also know that City Hall, where I work, a clock face remains fixed to 4 minutes past 9, forever marking the moment the Mont Blanc's explosive cargo blew and changed the course of our history. That event could well have spelled the economic and social collapse of our city, but Halifax chose not to die. With strength of purpose and resilience, we rebuilt. A poster from 1919 proclaimed this, I'm quoting, "Men say the day of miracles is past, but there is a vision of regeneration here that fringes the miraculous. A new city has risen out of the ashes of the old and grows, building by building, street by street, amid the tumultuous music of 1,000 hammers and the wholesome discord of 1,000 saws." Despite that clock face at City Hall, time has not stood still in this city. Another clock face at City Hall, looking out on Grand Parade, continues to mark today's time, the hours, the days, and the years as our city marches on. And today, once again, our city grows, progresses, diversifies, and prospers. The port is fundamental to the Halifax story, to be not simply a city with a fascinating past, but a city with a bright future in a changing economy. The Port of Halifax is the fastest growing container port in Canada. This year, containerized cargo volume in the first half of 2017, I think I have the number right, use the same number if you had a different one, Scott, is up 17% over the same period last year, on top of 15% growth in 2016. Impressive stats. But like Halifax, the port is committed to ensuring that its current good fortunes are no happy accident. In June, I visited 6 cities in China, accompanied on many of them by Karen Oldfield, the CEO. as well as Joyce Carter from the airport. The commitment of the port and of Karen was clear and focused, selling the Chinese on the Halifax marketplace. Our port is among the small number on the east coast of North America that can berth and service vessels over 10,000 TEU. Indeed, the first vessel of this size is called on Halifax, and there are more to come. Karen, her accomplished board, and experienced staff team have helped connect our city to 150 cities and countries worldwide. They've bought in business from 20 shipping lines. With their partners, Ceres and Halterm, they've invested in world-class infrastructure to meet the challenges of a rapidly evolving industry. They're doing the hard work of making plans for the years and the decades to come. With reliable, daily intermodal rail and truck connections, cargo from our port is reaching deep into Canada and the US. And as the Comprehensive Economic Trade Agreement is implemented, we know that new opportunities with Europe will continue to grow, and our port will take full advantage. The port exemplifies what we know to be true about Halifax and Nova Scotia. We must continue to open ourselves to the world. To fail to find new markets for our goods, new people to build on our population, and new businesses to boost our GDP is to turn our back on our future. Our city's economic growth plan makes no bones about our bold ambitions. We intend to grow our population to 550,000 and our GDP to $30 billion by 2031. And yes, the efforts of the port are crucial to us meeting those targets. But so too are the attitude and approach of all orders of government, of industry, our institutions, and our entrepreneurial class. Together, we are proud of our history, firm in our identity, and planning for what's next. We can welcome new faces around the world, as I did last Saturday, when we had our annual reception for international students. Over 400 smiling faces from around the world. Delighted to be in Halifax, many of them wanting to stay here. We can support the growth of our startup community, as was announced a couple of days ago with $2 million in federal and provincial contributions for Volta, Halifax's super hub. We can invest in game changers like the Center for Ocean Ventures and Entrepreneurship, our Discovery Center to answer the scientific inquiries of curious young minds, or the world-leading Ocean Frontier Institute. We can answer the cynics who think innovation is just a buzzword by demonstrating what a Halifax Innovation District can do to advance local research, build business, and attract new talent. We can bring people from many disciplines in all corners of the earth together at our new convention center opening very soon. And while we have them here, we can serve up Nova Scotia wine and food and entice them to explore our city, our province, and our region. As a city, we can encourage the construction of high-quality, environmentally sound, and interesting buildings. We have a wonderful development community in this city of Halifax, most of whom live here, who walk these streets, who drive by these buildings, and want to be rightfully proud of the work that they do. The development of communities where people want to make a life. Similarly, we can preserve our natural environment, which we're also doing, improve transit, and build high-quality infrastructure and technology readiness. And let's allow ourselves a little bit of license to aim audaciously high, to have a little bit of East Coast swagger. We can bid for Amazon HQ2 while at the same time supporting our homegrown economy. Are we a long shot to be the next headquarters of Amazon? Hell yes. But if we don't bid, we have no shot. As the port demonstrates daily, the world is at our doorstep. And a city whose reach doesn't exceed its immediate grasp is a city that will never achieve great things. Our city of Halifax has been one of the 3 fastest growing city economies in Canada 2 years in a row. That didn't seem possible. After years of seeing our young people leave to find opportunity elsewhere, in the last 2 years we've seen increases of 2,600 and then 3,800 people in the 25 to 39 age group. Net increases to Halifax in the last couple of years. That didn't seem possible either. Our population grew by 8,000 last year. It wasn't very long ago that seemed impossible as well. So again, thank you to Karen, to her team, for positioning Halifax Port for a strong future in a strong Halifax. We look forward to the outcome of the master planning exercise that's underway. We wish you all the very best. We thank all of you for being here in Halifax in September, the best month of the year for us. And we wish you all the best as you continue to transform your cities and your harbors as we're doing here in Halifax. Happy Port Days. Thank you very much.